Hello NBA fans, every day we have news about the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a Lakers fan and I'm counting on you to subscribe to the channel and leave your. The Lakers want to make more roster updates, and player transfers are likely to occur. The Lakers have made 4 players available for trade. Lakers weigh trade options with expiring deals and 1 future pick. Los Angeles Lakers insider Jovan Buha has suggested that while the franchise is currently in a holding pattern, there is still the possibility of a meaningful trade this summer. Speaking on his podcast, Buha outlined the Lakers' tradable assets and how they could pivot depending on how the season unfolds. The Lakers can still make a move, and that's what you mentioned in your tweet. They still have their 2031 or 2032 first-round pick, and they've got the expiring contracts of Rui, Gabe, and Maxey. They also have Dalton Connect, so there is a move to be made this summer or. That said, I still think there are limitations to how much they can actually improve. It seems like they're trying to keep their first-round pick for 2026 or 2027, possibly with the intention of making a bigger trade down the road, one where they'd have multiple picks to offer. Right now, they also have a second-rounder they can move. But if we're talking about a trade package of just Rui, Gabe, Maxey, Dalton, and a second, or some combination of those pieces, I don't think you're getting anything great or a meaningful upgrade. To really get something of substance, it would probably require including a first-rounder. If they're willing to put that first on the table and truly go for it with all their tradable assets, then yeah, I think they can find something that upgrades this roster. That list of 4 names, Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent, Maxey Kleber, and Dalton Connect, form the current trade base the Lakers could use without sacrificing their core. Buha was quick to point out that such a package, unless paired with a first-round pick, would likely not bring back a game-changer. The Lakers currently hold over $110 million in expiring deals, including those of LeBron James and Austin Reeves. LeBron is expected to play out the final year of his contract in 2025-26, with no indication of a trade or buyout request from his camp. Reeves, on the other hand, is projected to decline his player option and command a long-term deal in the $30 million per year range. There's also the Luka Doncic factor. Following the shocking blockbuster trade that brought him to Los Angeles, the Lakers' top priority now is extending the generational star. Doncic is reportedly all in on the franchise, showing commitment through a major physical transformation and an aggressive recruiting spree that brought in Marcus Smart and DeAndre Ayton. He is expected to sign a 4-year, $220 million extension or opt for a shorter deal to maximize his next payday. With Luka seemingly entering win-now mode and LeBron still performing as arguably the best number 2 option in basketball, the Lakers could be contemplating 2 parallel strategies. First, they want to preserve cap space for the 2026 free agency class, where they could target a major superstar or add multiple high-level contributors. Second, if the 2025-26 season begins strong and the roster looks just one piece away, the Lakers could flip the switch and include their 2031 first-round pick in a mid-season trade to elevate their title odds. It all comes down to timing. While the Lakers are playing the long game with one eye on cap flexibility and Luka's extended prime, they're also not ruling out going all in if the right situation arises. Lakers' biggest Dalton Connect worry should terrify fans. Dalton Connect will have a tough time figuring into the Los Angeles Lakers rotation in 2025-26. Dalton Connect has lived through a roller coaster rookie season that almost involved a new jersey, a disappointing stretch that resulted in him fading out of the rotation in 2024-25, and now an underwhelming summer league campaign. Things are not looking up for the sharpshooting wing. This was about as unimpressive a summer league as you could have seen for Dalton Connect, Sam Vecini said on the Game Theory podcast. 24 years old, about to turn 25, you would have expected him to really come in and be a dude. He was absolutely not that. I have some real worries. Bryce Simon agreed with his podcast partner. Simon admitted being high on Connect at numerous points previously, and having high hopes for the selection following the 2024 NBA draft. A familiar concern was then raised with Connect's ability to stay on the floor for the Los Angeles Lakers. Simon expressed worries about the defense of the Lakers sniper. The podcast personality pointed to the lack of development on that end presenting a major concern. Simon described the notes for Connect on that end being exactly the same. Dalton Connect's defense is the swing factor for the Lakers. There should be no doubt that the assessment provided by the Game Theory podcast is more than fair. Defensive consistency and reliability are two things the Lakers need to see from Connect to make him a regular fixture in the rotation. The desire to see growth on that end was obvious when J.J. Redick pulled the plug on Connect being a key bench piece late into last year's campaign. It was also just as evident when the Jake LaRavia signing was made. Rob Pelinka noted the two-way impact of LaRavia as ideal for Redick's basketball system. Right now, Connect is sorely lacking in half of that. Rob Pelinka on the Lakers' Jake LaRavia signing. From the team's release, Jake is a high IQ two-way player with ideal skills for a J.J. Redick basketball system. He's a disruptive defender who uses his size and physicality to create turnovers. Offensively, he can score at all. Simon noted in his assessment that Connect was never expected to be a major plus on defense. The issue is the former Tennessee star wanders too far into the negative category. This is a disappointment considering his final NCAA campaign with the Volunteers. Connect did struggle in isolation defensively. However, the former college star was at least capable of holding his own as a solid team defender. The Lakers will want to see more of that. Connect had a defensive rating of 118 per 100 possessions, according to Basketball Reference. His defensive box plus-minus came in at -1.7. Opponents scored a comfortable 46.5% of their field goals against Connect, according to NBA.com. When considering the low degree of difficulty in a majority of those assignments, that number looks quite troublesome. Ultimately, Connect does have an easy path to the rotation in 2025-26. However, it will only be easy if the biggest worry surrounding his game gets quickly erased from the picture. Jovan Buha lists 5 reasons why Lakers should be considered a major threat. With the offseason heating up and contenders reshuffling for a championship push, NBA insider Jovan Buha believes the Los Angeles Lakers should be taken seriously as a legitimate title threat heading into the 2025-26 season. Buha outlined 5 key reasons behind his belief, and none of them require outlandish optimism. If anything, the stars in Lakerland are finally aligning. Here's why. 1. Luka's revenge season is coming. Luka Doncic heard it all last year that he was traded from Dallas due to questions about his commitment, leadership, conditioning, and long-term potential. And the sting of that criticism only deepened during the Lakers' first-round playoff exit at the hands of the Minnesota Timberwolves, where Luka was relentlessly targeted on defense and visibly worn down late in games. The noise got louder. Doncic's body language, effort, and defense were criticized by fans, media, and former players alike. But instead of sulking, Luka responded hard. This offseason, Doncic has undergone a complete physical and mental transformation. His recent feature in Men's Mental Health magazine revealed a redefined physique and strict regimen, 16-hour fasting, no gluten, no sugar, and an intense training program that has reshaped his frame. But it's not just about the weight loss. It's about mindset. Sources close to the team believe Luka is entering revenge season with MVP-caliber urgency. His off-season recruitment of Marcus Smart and DeAndre Ayton further signals he's bought into the Lakers long-term. All indications point to him signing a 4-year, $220 million extension in the coming week. If that happens, expect monster numbers and a relentless drive to silence every critic. The kid is out for blood. 2. DeAndre Ayton addresses the Lakers' biggest weakness. The Lakers' biggest flaw last season wasn't hard to spot. Once again, they lacked a reliable starting center. Jackson Hayes showed flashes but simply wasn't consistent enough to anchor the paint. Enter DeAndre Ayton. Bought out by Portland, Ayton joins the Lakers with a chip on his shoulder and a golden opportunity. A former number 1 overall pick with career averages hovering over a double-double, Ayton has all the tools to thrive alongside Luka and LeBron. At just 27, he could become the Lakers' long-term answer at center, provided he brings consistent effort and improves defensively. Jackson Hayes re-signing adds bench depth, and sources say the Lakers are still exploring other big men such as Robert Williams III or Nikola Vucevic to fortify the rotation. For the first time in years, the Lakers have the flexibility and now the personnel to finally plug the center hole. 3. The Lakers can still make a trade. As Buha recently noted on his podcast, the Lakers aren't done. Despite their limited draft capital, they still have several key assets that could be moved in season: Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, and Dalton Knecht, plus their 2031 or 2032 first-round pick and at least one second-rounder. While those assets alone may not net a star, packaging them with a first could land a meaningful upgrade at the trade deadline, especially if the Lakers are a piece away from contending. With over $110 million in expiring deals and LeBron James still on the roster, don't be surprised if the Lakers get aggressive mid-season. They're also holding out cap space for 2026, but that won't stop them from pushing the chips in if the time is right. Luka and LeBron are too good to waste a year. 4. LeBron James is still the best number 2 option in the league. LeBron James will be 41 during the 2025-26 season. He's entering his 23rd NBA campaign. And he's still one of the 10 best players in the world. Even last season, James made an All-NBA team and regularly took over down the stretch. His explosiveness might have declined slightly, but his IQ, passing, shooting, and clutch shot-making remain elite. Most importantly, LeBron has seemingly embraced his role as the second option behind Luka, and that makes the Lakers dangerous. Despite off-season noise suggesting friction with the front office over the team's long-term Luka focus, LeBron never demanded a trade or buyout. In fact, his camp clarified that he's fully committed. As the best number 2 option in basketball, LeBron elevates the Lakers into contender territory automatically. He's been here before. He knows how to win. 5. Roster and coaching continuity will pay off. The Lakers finished third in the West last year with 50 wins, and that was with Luka joining mid-season and struggling with fitness. Even amid all that, the roster clicked. Now, they've added Marcus Smart, DeAndre Ayton, and Jake LaRavia, 3 pieces that address key needs. More importantly, they've retained the rest of the core. J.J. Redick, entering his second year as head coach, showed promise as a tactician and communicator. Players trust him. He has the locker room. And with a full offseason to implement his schemes around Luka and LeBron, this team could take another leap. While other contenders undergo roster shakeups or navigate superstar drama, the Lakers are stable and motivated. Continuity matters in the NBA, especially when your stars are aligned and the locker room is united. The Lakers are a sneaky contender. The Lakers aren't just a legacy team relying on past glory. They're built to win now, and Jovan Buha's 5 reasons make a compelling case. Luka Doncic's transformation and leadership. DeAndre Ayton's arrival at a position of need. Smart midseason trade flexibility. LeBron James is still a top 10 player. A cohesive roster with coaching stability. In short, don't sleep on the Lakers. They're not just a threat. They might be the problem. NBA exec takes major shot at Lakers, calls 2020 championship not genuine. The Los Angeles Lakers have had a rocky 2020 decade to say the least. The past few seasons for the Lakers have been a mix of good and bad, however, the decade started with a bang. The Lakers were among the best teams in the league, if not the best, during the 2019-20 season. Los Angeles, led by superstars LeBron James and Anthony Davis, were title contenders through and through. They were among the top teams in the league and certainly in the Western Conference, holding the number 1 seed for the entire season. However, the world was put on pause due to the COVID-19 pandemic. That caused the entire world to come to a halt, including the NBA season. Eventually, the NBA did its best efforts to continue the season, and the Lakers, as they proved to be all season, were the best team of that unforgettable 2019-20 season. While that was the case, many throughout the past 5 seasons have done their best to dismiss the Lakers' title. 5 years later, that is still the case somehow, and this time it was Philadelphia 76ers president of basketball operations Daryl Morey who added more gasoline to the dying fire. In an interview with The Athletic, Morey threw a massive shot at the Lakers' 2020 championship. "Had the Rockets won the title, I absolutely would have celebrated it as legitimate, knowing the immense effort and resilience required," Morey said. Yet, everyone I speak to around the league privately agrees that it doesn't truly hold up as a genuine championship. Perhaps the lasting legacy of the NBA bubble is that the NBA should be proud of its leadership at both the beginning and end of the pandemic, even though the champion will forever be marked by an asterisk. The Lakers went through as difficult a season as anyone. The pandemic disrupted their rhythm and upended everyday life, just like it did for the rest of the world. But on top of that, they were hit with a devastating blow, the heartbreaking loss of Lakers and NBA icon Kobe Bryant, who tragically passed away in late January 2020. The Lakers, the city of Los Angeles, and the entire world went through an overwhelming stretch of loss in just a few months. The NBA, meanwhile, was doing everything it could to bring the game back, a return that fans everywhere were desperately yearning for. Morey is just the latest of many to do their best to discount the Lakers' latest title.